are being taxed everything. You see, even breathing, we are being taxed. It's only that we don't know. It's being implemented secretly.
We will eventually know.
Yeah, we'll eventually know. Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. How have you been? It's been a minute, and today here at Weekly Analysis of the State of the Nation, I wanted us to talk about so much that has been happening in our political arena for the last, I would say, 2 weeks. We have not recorded for 2 weeks, so much has been happening, and yeah, I want us to talk about that. So, Mr. Lugalia, welcome to the podcast today, and as we have told our viewers, so much has been happening in our political scene. And one of the thing that, or rather, one of the main events that has been happening. Yesterday, we witnessed yesterday we witnessed the swearing in of our deputy president, or should I say, our new and incoming deputy president. And within a period of 1 week, we have impeached him, and within a period of 1 week, the former deputy president was impeached, and a new deputy president has been sworn in. I mean, how are things? Why are things going on so fast? Why the urgency? What's your point? What's your take on that?
It's very funny in the political arena that we are today as a country, and within a span of a short period of time, we found many things that happened. From where I sit, I'm so shocked politically, and I'm so embarrassed to all the processes that are taking place. Actually, from the look of things, within a very short period of time, we've witnessed the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, we call him now the former the deputy president. And yesterday, it was declared a holiday for the swearing in of one man, Kindiki. And actually, you can say from the look of things, laws being bent to suit the ruling class. And I can tell for free, the rush to which the impeachment process has been taken, and the appointment and the swearing in, actually, from where I sit, I really condemn. We can see the whole process, the way it has been, the whole Holocaust week that has been in the National Assembly, the Senate. We've moved from the Senate, we've gone all the way to the court, whereby the judges have been listening to the case which has been disputing the removal of the former deputy president. And we've been watching all the process taking place. Despite the court orders by justice, we see there was an order given by a judge, the order to stay.
The conservatory.
It's called the conservatory order. Still, the same law was bent, whereby now the bench came in and disputed the same order to proceed, which means they were working for the benefit of the ruling class. See, now, that aside, I think His Excellency Rigathi accepted the defeat despite defending his capacity. He's now at home. He's a farmer now, like us.
A citizen.
An ordinary citizen. And we are with him, Mr. Rigathi. And actually, there come now the emergency of Kindiki. And you see, Kindiki, we know him as a professor. I knew Kindiki a long time ago when I was still a young kid. When he was a lecturer at university, and he has been in interior CS. Actually, I don't understand how things happen in a very few span period of time, whereby, I don't know, is the law that we study, is it different from what is being applied? Because you see now, there was an appointment of Kindiki. Shortly after the appointment, I had the swearing in. But you see, from where I sit, I understand very well, there's a bureaucracy which needs to be followed. Despite the process being dubious or right, we still have our own law, whereby I understand there's supposed to be the nomination, whereby this nomination has to be done by the president. Then thereafter, the IBC was to declare the impeachment of the deputy president. Now, after the IBC declaration, now the speaker now should go ahead and do the gazette notice and whatever. But things were folded within a span of period. I heard about the nomination of Kindiki. Then the other day I heard about the preparation of swearing in. As we speak today, I'm told yesterday was a holiday for million Kenyans to post their jobs,
Jobless.
close their shop, to come and give one man a job. And this is the Kenya we live today. And it's so funny whereby after the impeachment process, the state can call a holiday. I'm told the acting CS for Interior, who is Musalia Mudavadi, issued a holiday notice on Thursday evening. Huh? Was it on Thursday or Friday evening?
It was, sorry to cut you short. I think it was on a Thursday evening, and it was few minutes before, few minutes after notice on members, a committee that had been put aside to handle the whole DP, the current DP now today that we have.
Okay.
Like a lot of things happened in a short, like
a
in
lot of things
10 minutes we were having a lot of, you know.
Within a very short period of time, because I had the acting CS, who is my friend Musalia Mudavadi, declared a holiday, a Friday to be a holiday, so that all business should be closed, school should be closed, all the running should close, for us to head to KICC for the swearing in of the one man we know, Kindiki. But that's so sad for Kenya as a country. You know, as I told you once in this show, Kenya is being respected, but due to the current system of governance, things are working in a manner that we're not going to respect our country because of the system and the mechanism in place. Now you see, as we speak today, Kindiki was sworn in yesterday. I saw it on TV. And there was all the government arms and dignitaries seated there for the swearing in of this one man, Kindiki, as we speak today. Because I didn't know whether he resigned as the CS for Interior. Because, you know, the reason why I'm so speculative on this, according to the law, when the appointment comes for a statesman, there should be a resignation from the previous office. But I never heard of those bureaucracy of the resignation. And we remember, Kindiki was not an ordinary politician. He was not a member of parliament. He was not a mzee wa mtaa from the village. He was a statesman sitting in the cabinet. Now he could be leading as an example because he's a man of the law. He's a professor of law. He could show as an example those law bureaucracies before assuming the office of the president. You know, some of us are drunk with power. When we hear of something, we don't need to follow the process. But it's Kenya, we know. Yeah.
It's the Kenya we know.
It's the Kenya we know.
Or rather, I think it's a characteristic of developing states.
Yeah, that's the characteristic of third world countries.
Yeah, so let me ask you something. When it comes to our current Deputy President now, the one who was sworn in yesterday, Mr. Kindiki, what is it, or rather, what do you think he will bring to the table that's different from his predecessor, who's Mr. Gachagua?
As a critic of this government and oversight, I don't think there's anything new that will be brought on the table. Because from the look of things, there's a lot of unimplemented and accusations and we say finger pointing because all the process that has taken place between the period of impeachment to the period of the swearing in of the new deputy president is a whole political process. See, it's all political process whereby we don't think this man sitting on the same cabinet is going again to sit in the same. There's no different cabinet that will be found. Remember, we saw they swore in one man, whereby this man was sworn in before as a member of the cabinet. Now he was sworn in a fresh mandate as the deputy president. And I don't think the capacity differs in the duties and responsibilities, despite the fact that the office has different responsibilities and the roles of the work of the office. He's a member of the same Kenya Kwanza government, and he has been there. He's one of the founding members. In fact, yesterday he was also commissions to be the deputy party leader of the party. You see, he's not new in the office. He's the same monkey in the same forest. He has been there. You know the bureaucracies. You know the processes. So from where I sit, I think President Ruto himself wanted someone whom he will direct according to his will to act in that capacity. You get my point? But you see, the law process from the legislature to the judiciary, all the way to the executive, it's not going to change. Maybe the service delivery, you think Kindiki will going to work in a special way. I don't think that will happen because you are here with me and we are going to observe many things coming. So if those people were sitting back there thinking that Kindiki is going to work in a special way in service delivery, I'm not sure.
But let me cut it short. But don't you think, as a presidency, not as a president, but the presidency should be speaking in one language? Because let me give you an example. You remember the incident where I think it was on 25th during the Gen Z protests, when the former DP went and had his own press statement at Mombasa, talking about how, pointing fingers and all that. Immediately, the president has spoken. That basically showed the rift between the two people. So don't you think that to some extent, the presidency itself should be speaking in one language, and maybe that's what Kindiki will be bringing to the table. Us, or rather us who are looking from outside in, we are looking at it as anaenda kukua, what do we call, a puppet. He's going to be the puppet. But don't you think he's going to be speaking in one language as it should be, as the presidency?
Let me tell you one thing. You know, the formulation and the hypothesis of the running system of governance, it's the responsibilities of these leaders whom they came to us as a citizen to seek for votes. They gave us some promises of how they're going to work. When they came, they were one as unity and uniformity. They were bridesmaids and grooms.
True.
You see, according to the law, every leader should advocate for peace and they work for harmony. Remember, President Kenyatta was umoja, undugu. President Moi did the same. President Kenyatta, ndugu zanguni. And you see, we are here today. The unity amongst the presidency is the responsibility of the leaders. As the citizen, we should not organize the government.
Okay.
And as we can say from where it is, the difference in ideologies of the leaders should not lead to the extent of the impeachment and all the orchestration of the political process that is working. I support the unity working, but now the responsibility bears on their capacity as the leaders of this country. Because you cannot change the law because you're not compacting with me ideologically. We should respect the rule of law and the Constitution of Kenya. Though I'm not saying the impeachment has not followed the Constitution, I'm not criticizing the law, but what I'm trying to say is the unity between the presidency should be orchestrated within its trunk. And I find it good when there's an issue within the presidency, it should be approached amicably. You know, the problem is our system of governance has been corrupt. We are living in a state capture system of governance. But now the difference in ideology comes in when the deputy president maybe is not concurring with the issue of his senior. And what is the case? You know, even the citizen where they are sitting as the people, and as a voter, will be speculated to ask, why is this and this not running according to this way? See, because many things they have done together as president as deputy. This is the third year in office. And we are looking for about 2.5 years for the next general election. There's a lot of MOUs that have been done as the Kenya Kwanza government. Now, you cannot tell me during the campaign, like, I love working with Laura to be my deputy. This means before you sit down and choosing Laura to be your deputy, there's something substantive about Laura. You get the point? I cannot reach in between the journey, then I start convincing the same Wanjiko, the same Paul, that this Laura is not fit for the office. Why could you have told us before? You see, now these are the things that I'm trying to speculate. There should be unity in the working system of the presidency. But now it's not responsibility of the Kenyans and the voters to bring the unity.
In that
presidency.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So whether Mr. Kindiki and Mr. Ruto will work together as one, it's a matter of time. Let's leave it to time, and
we
we'll
can
see.
give it a benefit of doubt. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will work together, and deliver to us citizens.
That's it.
So allow me go to the next point of discussion, and I wanted us to talk about the visit from I would say three, but from two different countries of the intelligence units in our country. So the other day we had a courtesy visit from the CIA, FBI, and MI16 or MI6, however you want to call it. And the question is now, what are really their interests in our country? What do you think their interest is? Because the other day we had, sorry, not even the other day, one of the things that was being discussed was the idea of establishing military bases in Wajir and Turkana. What really is their interest suddenly? Because they have not been visiting our country, so suddenly, what is it that is enticing them to come to, grab a piece of our country?
Within a span of 5 months period, we've had a lot of mischief in the political landscape of this country. Back then in July, we had the emergence of Gen Z forces leading to the finance bill rejection. And we can see from that period, we have witnessed a lot of human trafficking in the country. This human trafficking has invaded all the agencies pertaining to human rights. They've gone ahead to interfere with the human rights defenders. The killings, the abductions. Hopefully you have seen where there's some activities like Boniface Mwangi disappearing. There was a disappearance of Margaret Oko, some Gen Z activists. There was also some abduction. There was mass abduction at the quarry. You remember the case of the quarry?
There was also the MCA from, is it Wajir?
Yes.
The MCA that was abducted. I don't know if by today he has been found, but he had not been found until,
these cases have been monitored.
Yeah.
Remember, in the country, like we are as a country, we have the embassies, we have the agencies, we have the external, we have the human rights, we have the Amref International, and so they observe everything that happens within the country. So there's a lot of alarming that has been taking place with the killings in the country. We find bodies like we are counting more than 200 women dying within this time period of time. Now women are trying to fight for the feminism action plan. See, and you see also, if we say the Gen Zs who have just disappeared and some died, hope to see what has been happening to Nairobi youths.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people are saying we call it the Githurai
Githurai, yeah.
There were Githurai 3 disappearance,
True,
abduction happened. See, recently, if you are very keen, President Ruto has been featured in one of the international media. I guess it's either BBC or CNN. He was asked the question about the abductions, about the killings, and the activities of the political landscape that is taking place in the country, which is alarming in the international system. And I can see from that all Holocaust. Now, it has brought an alarm to the international system. I think that is the action whereby we see the British M16, we see the FBI from the US, and the CIA. And you can see from the demand to President Ruto, I've just read it on paper, that they're demanding to establish 3 bases in the country, whereby one will be established in Turkana, another one in Wajir, another one I don't know in Mandera or somewhere where. And you can see, we can ask ourselves now as a people, why? start being speculative. Where are these people here?
True.
And you can see after those questions is now the demand of those people establishing their business within the country. Do you think President Ruto is hiding the information about the killing that is going on in the country? Because you see, Kenyans maybe who watched that thing were not satisfied with the way the president reacted on that question to the reality that is happening within the country. You see, all this thing is political, but it has gone further ahead, whereby the international highbrows has to sneak in and be concerned about the murder and the human trafficking and the abduction that is taking place within the country.
So just to get you right, so it is your belief that probably the reason why we have this these international intelligence agencies visiting us is because of the alarm raised by
Exactly.
different activists on the abductions and all that. So they want to really understand what is really going on in Kenya.
Yes.
But also you're of the opinion that probably there are some things that the state, or by state I mean our country Kenya, we have not been told exactly where their visit is. Of course there are those hidden, not hidden per se, but
I can say many people I've seen online on the platform. Some people are saying like during the colonial period, those regions were identified with the minerals or something.
Oh yeah.
But you see, from the political landscape, we're not talking about mineral at the moment.
True.
We cannot be dying and talking about the mineral. You see, the country is in a state whereby we need first to fix a lot of things before we come to that. Our economy is ailing. Death and we have some dictatorial leadership of President Trudeau and his team. And you can find to see that all these things are happening while the international system are watching. We have the multinational corporation here. They're the witness of what is going on. You remember during the demonstration process, there's a lady wearing a Red Cross attire. He was going to rescue someone who was on a coma, and she was even bullied by the police. Do you think when you bully that assistant just end here, it's going in the international space? My instinct is strongly believing that the establishment of this security agency, international security agencies, is because of the security of the state. We are not having secure mind, or we are not having faith with the current government we are having in the matters pertaining security. People are saying during the current deputy president Kindiki being the interior CS, there's a lot of things he did while he was the CS for interior. All this killing were happening under his watch. The Gen Z under his watch. We did not find the answer for this Mombasa pastor. You remember the Mombasa pastor? Mackenzie.
Oh yeah.
Do you know how that thing ended?
Actually, when you think about it, there was accusations or allegations that Mr. Mackenzie was involved in a mass organ donorship. So he was extracting organs from these, congregants that he was telling to fast and die to go and see Jesus. And under the government's watch, how did it happen?
Under the government's watch, our question is, was it political? Because you see, there was mass death took place within that place under the watch of the current government. 400 people. But at the end of the story, they were told us there was a task force committee which was selected to go and do the investigation of all the process. But what is happening today as we speak? Mackenzie is alive after killing 400 congregants and worshippers.
And it was actually more than 400, because every now and then we keep seeing on the news there, suddenly they are still retrieving bodies, and you wonder until when. So there's still other bodies out there that have not been recovered
Maybe
yet.
there's something we don't know, because you see, there's a lot of things which is being hidden by the government to shield themselves from the bad blood. You see, I'm told there's an article I was watching the other day. These cops who were taken to Haiti, they were complaining about the state of the upkeep they are. Some of them are being killed, but we have not been informed. All these under the watch of the current deputy president who was then the CS for the interior. We are still yet to find the answer for the Mombasa, the Mackenzies. The Gen Z report has been shifted and folded and bring in another ways, bring it to be a security alarming, you see? And this was under the watch of the
Government.
CS Kindiki, you see? Now, we wonder, our able president sat somewhere and saw that this fits to be the deputy president. And I don't understand how the system works. But you see, we are not satisfied with his working now. If we are not satisfied with him being in interior, how can we be satisfied with him being in a higher office than interior? Now that's why we're saying let's watch and see what.
Yeah, you're right. But one thing I know about politics, or rather being a political science scholar, is that in politics, loyalty is rewarded highly, because
Yes.
you rarely find loyalty in politics. Like you rarely find politics in loyalty in politics.
Yeah,
so
yeah, true.
I would understand why our able president opted to go with Kindiki, because he has been loyal since from Hague. There have been he has been one of his
And
lawyers
if
from
even
Hague.
said it somewhere in a media that we've been together with this person, I've been defending him.
Yeah.
So the guy was saying to us, I'm not a Kalenjin, but I've been defending Ruto from the head. Now you see now, despite the fact he's trying to hide the Mutuweti amnesia, but you're not stupid.
Of course, I know Kenyans are looking at it like, he wants someone who's his puppet. But I mean, as a president, wouldn't you want someone, not necessarily your puppet, but someone who sings your same tune? Because that's a president. You should be speaking the same language, right?
Yes.
Anyway, in regards to, let me take you back to, we were talking about CIA and FBI. So you said probably they could be in this country because of the current alarming abduction trends,
Yes.
But and security issues. But it's our hope as a nation that whatever it is, or rather whatever agreements are being signed, it's at the end of the day to the benefit of us as citizens, and not the few political class or the few people. So let me go on to the next topic of discussion, and I wanted us to talk about. There's so many things I want us to talk about, but allow me go to. There's one thing I've realized. It's a trend when it comes to. Okay, I don't call it a trend because my words might be misunderstood, but let me put it this way. You see, when it comes to development of a state needs to have funds to be able to. To have those development projects in place and going. So Kenyans went to the street the other day too, and I'm not saying I'm pro finance bill. I'm just saying Kenyans went to the streets the other day to demand the parliament not to ensure the finance bill does not pass. That was one of the avenues the state gets its funds to run our state. We rejected that. Then there was the other way the country can find funds to run a state, and I would say it's through PPPs, the public-private partnership. And in this case, I would say Adani and some other capitalists. We're all against that. And I understand, as a citizen, I understand that we're looking at it as the president trying to sell our country to, our colonizers. Let me put it that way. The other way is by borrowing. We are also as citizens against that. So which way should we go as a state between the three in terms of sourcing funds for development? Because at the end of the day, we need to have development in a state.
Let me say categorically, Kenya as a state has been there since independence. We've been having leaders who come up with the budgets and the money set aside to run the activities of the net. Each year we pass the finance bill, and I can tell you for free, Kenya has been receiving this money from outside, and it has been managing it well. We as the citizen, we pay taxes, revenue, are there to pay and fund the activity of the state. We know it very well. And I can tell you for free, we as a country or we as a nation, we're not criticizing the process where the President Ruto is doing to borrow money or to seek for the financial aid from foreign states or whatever. We're not against it at all. In fact, it's good for our nation and it's healthy for our growth as a nation. And we know very well this thing has been happening. He's not the first president to go and borrow, actually, and we're not against him. The thing which is making the people to become angry with the system is the expenditure of that money.
Okay.
For instance, let me give you a good example. There's a lot of MOU which has been signed outside there. We even call him, he's running the country Kwandege,
True.
by moving up and down, and to limit our tourists because of moving up and down, because he's saying himself that he's fighting for the sake of the country. We don't know. Anyway, we don't know.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. But you see, the problem is the money we're being given as a state. It's not doing what it's purposefully meant for. That money is coming here, but it's being shared within the few individuals, few bureaucrats, few handouts. You see, that's the problem that is facing our country, and that's what is making Gen Z to go to the street. For instance, we hear the other day, I'm seeing it in the platform that we were awarded 78 billion from IMF. And I can see the same government is here shouting, telling us that it has balanced our dollar, it has stabilized our dollar to 129 shillings. I saw it yesterday in my phone. I don't know, actually, this government is really a rumors government. and we saw it. Now the same government is going ahead to say like it's using the same money to settle part of the Eurobond, which is downfalling our stability of the dollar. And you see, we come at the end of the day to hear all these speculations are not really what is in the actual place. More money President Ruto has been bringing, but we don't see the outcome. You see, what is the money for? Because you see, I cannot say the wage bill is different from President Uhuru Kenyatta's, maybe slightly different. But remember, we've been paying taxes. The taxing system is there. That's where we have the Commission for Revenue. You see, and this money has been helping us to balance the wage bill of the nation, as well as balancing the economic and development of the state. The problem now, which is making Gen Z to go to the street, is the way these people have been running this country as the private property. You see, they come up with the money allocations, they tell us about the budgets, but the actual thing in the ground is not for the beneficiary of we, the voters. You see now, a lot of things, because you see, each and every day, the speculation that, the finance bill is doing what, I don't know. I don't know if you have heard about that. Have you heard?
Being implemented secretly.
Yeah. This finance bill being implemented secretly, whereby the other day they published something like they're going to fix tracker in every motorist gauge, fuel gauge, to monitor the fuel consumption so that it be taxed to a VAT. You see, now what is that? When you come to look in your payslip at the end of the day, you've been taxed everything. We are being taxed everything, you see, even breathing, we are being taxed. It's only that you don't know. It's being implemented secretly.
We will eventually know.
Yeah, we'll eventually know. Yeah.
So, you've brought up the issue of finance bill being implemented secretly, and I couldn't help but wonder. I also came across certain news, or should I say allegations, because I cannot substantiate it, that even our phones, the government is going to have access to our phones, like basically having the IMEI number of your phone. Yes. So meaning they can be able to track your communication, they can be able to track how you're spending money, they can be able to track how much your phone was. So this country is basically trying to ensure that they collect tax from us at all, in all how do I put it, in all aspects, in all avenues. They want to ensure they have collected tax from us. Sure. But again, as you said, the issue is not paying the tax. Kenyans are not against paying tax or foreign aid or foreign what is it called, foreign aid or foreign assistance. We are against how this money is being used. Utilized. Yeah. So let me ask, between the PPPs, and this is just a random question, between the PPPs, IMF, or finance bill, in as much as I know all of this has to happen, but which of the three do you think should be the best way to approach development funds?
I think from where I sit, when we use or when we utilize well the money legally, everything is enough for everybody.
Okay.
The reason why I'm telling you this, you come to this scenario whereby, personally, I'm against the PPP. Because why? You see, this PPP is not for the benefit of the Kenyans. This PPP is for the benefit of the few individuals. Do you remember the case? Yeah, do you remember the case that President Ruto attacked about the guy called Rai? I'm giving you a simple example. Rai is one of the capitalists of this country. He has been in charge of Mumias Sugar, if you know Mumias Sugar in Western Kenya. And he has also been in charge of West Sugar, Kabras. He has also been in charge of Rai Cement. He has also been in charge of Rai Plywoods. That's a wood manufacturing company located in Eldoret. This is one Rai. And from the look of things, I can tell you for free, despite this Rai employing majority of the Kenyans. For instance, I can give in Mumias used to employ thousands and thousands of Kenyans. Apart from employing thousands and thousands of Kenyans, it used to sell, which brought revenue to the country. The sugar used to be exported out of the country. It brought revenue to the country. And it boosted the industrial sector. You see now? But you see, you come to find out like the privatization that was done, for instance, in the West Sugar, Urban West Sugar, the privatization that has been done there, you come to find there are only three beneficiaries were the capitalists. By then, the beneficiary was said to be Uhuru Kenyatta. The other one was Rai himself. Now you see, despite the fact the employees are paying for the wages, we don't see who was the beneficiary. It's only when this other government comes in, the President Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza, is when they realize that the President Uhuru and so was the beneficiary. Now politically is going there to say mambo ni mata. To impress the citizen, to see that this guy now is sweeping out the impunity and the poor working structure of the industrial sector. But what he does is just only the PR to impress the crowd that he's addressing at the moment. But in reality, you cannot fight these and you go to implement the same thing on another page, then you are telling us that you are fighting impunity. Because himself, we know, now even a small kid today knows the Adani and the Jomo Kenyatta. Do you want to tell me, you saw the CS Chirchir the other day, he was in the Senate being questioned about the legal process that took place within the privatization of the Jomo Kenyatta. Soon we will hear it called Adani International Airport. You see, because of this holocaust that is taking place. Now you come to find out, even President Ruto himself has been seen on the front of the media telling us that Adani is good. We need to work with him to re-energize the economy back to its normal track. We are listening to him and we are giving him time. You see, now the same Adani has corrupted the health system. But my question is, have you asked yourself why everything that President Ruto touches goes astray?
Sure.
You find it now. Now President Ruto entered to Jomo Kenyatta, it becomes a lot of issues. Now he has come to the chief. Chief has been standstill. You see? Now chief has been here, and you come to find out like this chief has not been growing on well. This chief has come up with a lot of mischief. Now it was halted a bit by the court because of this process and this. Now the reason for all this procedure being hitched and not being swiftly implemented is because Kenyans are never fooled. You see, Kenyans have woken up. Now we're asking yourself, you told Rai mambo ni matatu, and you're going to bring us Adani. And this same Adani is the one who has killed the economy of Bangladesh. Have you heard of that story?
I was actually going to bring it up, but thank you
Yeah,
for bringing it up.
this guy was working with the Bangladesh economy. And he told, we're not been there in Bangladesh, but the papers are here and the internet is there. This guy has crippled down the economy of Bangladesh. Now we as the Kenyans, the president is telling us this guy is good, to work with him, to revive our economy. Now he has been given Jomo Kenyatta. He has been given chief. Hope you've heard, he has been given, I don't know, Ketrako or Kenyan, something of the sort. Ketrako. Now you see, he is also going to be given the port of Mombasa. I'm told there's another more things that is to be given. Do you know Nairobi hospital is under his control?
Adani too.
Yeah, that's from the speculation. Now I'm told this President Ruto who told Rai mambo ni matatu is the one who is trusting this one. Now this is my question. Maybe it's not bad to work with Adani. Maybe it's not bad to work with Adani. But my question is, the PPP process. Why are you giving it to one person now? Why are you giving it to this one capitalist who killed Bangladesh economy? If now you want to privatize all the system, whereby you had Senator Onyonka saying, do not sell our KICC. It's the only asset we were left by our forefathers. Did you heard about that part?
Yeah, I remember that.
Do not sell our land, Kenya. And he insisted, President Ruto, do not sell our Jomo Kenyatta, do not sell our ports. And he insisted in saying this. Do you know why? These people know more than we know.
True, of course.
But we come to find out, from the look of things now, we will come to find out it's not Adani. Adani is just the shield. And many people know this.
Allegedly.
The beneficiaries is the one and the only we know. We cannot hide.
True.
Yes, we know. And that's what we are calling the robust impunity.
What if we look at it on the positive side? These PPPs, do you think we should actually just embrace it and give it time and let's judge, or rather let's give an opinion after some few years, or rather after some few years of existence, then we can now criticize the PPPs?
Actually, we cannot stop it, because the government in power is in control of what they're doing.
True.
And you see, from the look of things, we are now going to the third year. We are not even accounting one implementation of the Kenya Kwanza government. So do you think the remaining time will be enough for them to implement something visible?
No.
You know, even you in your media, you can tell, because from the look of things, you cannot say one implementation of this government. Not even the new airport.
True.
Not even the new hospital like Kenyatta or Nairobi. Not even anything. Are you aware that the education system has been corrupted? I'm talking about the funding model of the university.
I know, the NFM.
Do you know there's now going to be a lot of problem with this money? Because you see what? Now, this money has been pretended to be increased from the normal which has been being dispersed. Parents were shocked. Now you are getting this money. Oh, you're almost paying almost all of your fee. Is it going to be like this? No. But now, what is happening for the second year of it? Failure. Now,
and eventually, the beneficiary is going to pay even more than the previous funding model.
Exactly. When you go to your portal, the portal of your student today, you see the penalties is being attracted with it.
I know.
You get the point?
Yeah.
Now what is being told? Now we are going to be told, because the Kenyan government is unable to fund all this, then Adani is going to come. And you see now that's the country we are running.
Those allegations are dangerous.
And what is always my prayer is one. Because we are in a scenario of the state capture, we need to be careful. We need to be careful. Because you see, I can tell you for free, we have the three arms of government. The executive, which is abducting us, and it's robbing our taxes. We have in the legislature, which is receiving bribery from the executive. We have the judiciary, which is legitimizing the executive and the legislature. And today, what we have? The holocaust of the government, we see. That's why you see things are happening in this way.
We hope for better days, to come.
Yeah.
So we talked about IMF, and there's a point you tried to bring up earlier, and allow me give you some facts. So some few days ago, the IMF approved around 78 billion Kenyan shillings, and then there was also I think that's it. So the IMF acknowledged that our economy is growing, so that's why they were willing to, approve that much funds. But there are countries out here like Botswana, Libya, their economies are stable without depending on IMF. So my question then is, as a country, how then going forward are we going to handle this debt crisis according to your opinion? How do you think we can handle this debt crisis in our country?
Oh, I think
because the more we borrow, the more we owe.
As I told you earlier on, the problem is not how we manage our resources.
Okay.
The problem is the expenditure. Because we are having the wrong leadership in place to manage these funds that we receive in all the corners. Remember, we have the revenue, whereby the tax has already been hiked. Not that it's being planned to be hiked, it was already hiked. The funds, you see, President is telling us now IMF has donated this and that and that. You're not even sure, these things, are very contradictory.
True.
And you can see, they say that, I saw it being gazetted yesterday that the 78 billion donated to the Kenyan government, and there's a part of it going to sort our Eurobond.
Yeah.
And you see, from the look of things, it's the Eurobond that was diminishing our dollar. And now you see that the slight settlement of the Eurobond has stabilized the dollar. Many things can be said by this government for the PR purposes. These are PR government. Because you see, when there's a change or growth for your kid on the growth, you can observe. Then you will tell your kid is growing. You don't need to talk about your kids grow. You can observe. There's some things that you observe. You get my point? There's some things you don't need to be told by the kid themselves that I'm growing.
I know. Yeah.
You can just from the look of things. Yeah. But now you see, this government is trying to polish out to hide their hidden rot, telling us this has been done. Because sometimes back, I also had some euro bonds have been sorted and the dollar has stabilized. Then I don't know what made the dollar to hike back again, so that it has been stabilized back. These things are working in a swave manner that we cannot really comprehend the reality of the point. But now, from where I sit, our revenues and the more taxes that we've been taxed is enough for it to sort our debts. Being used, you see this revenue we collect, it's too much. Beginning from the county level to the national level, it's too much. Now I can find it clear that when this money gets good utilization and good expenditure, it's enough to sort our debts. You've gone back bad to those countries you mentioned to me. We are having our neighbor Uganda. The other day, President Samia launched SGR.
I know. Wow.
You see,
very beautiful SGR.
And you can see we have a very long SGR even compared to the Kenyan one. And remember, we were the first with our operation, like SGR, what. You see. But where is Tanzania today? For your information, you see the silence that is taking place in Tanzania. They're taking advantage to move on. Today, go to Dar es Salaam. Today, go to Arusha. They used to come to Nairobi until they were, what is happening in this country? Is this really? There's a time I was in Kampala, I had President Museveni telling the Ugandans, you don't need to go to London. You don't need to go to America. Just run in Kenya, you'll find a New York. You'll find a New York whereby you can see a vehicle flying on top of you, and some others going down. So they were happy to see our super highways,
Yeah, the bypass. Yeah.
and the expressways. You see, but you see, this small pressure that we mount in place has given them challenge. Today, as we speak, Tanzania is progressing. The ministry is actively working. They've invested in the infrastructure more than anything else. Have you seen the Air Tanzania?
Oh yeah, they're really growing.
They've invested in the infrastructure. Air Tanzania is active like the Air Rwanda. Now we are ailing with our Kenya Airways here. The Kenya Airways, whereby every day, today we appoint a director, tomorrow there's a battle, they are fighting the corruption here, following day Adani will be there. Anyway, then the other day, they're going to the SGR, they have corrupted the system in the SGR, now it is stuck there in Naivasha. Now we go there there's the other day, Murkomen, one was the minister for road, he told us there's some small damage done in the super highway. He told us it's costing around 7 billion or something of the sort. Now we are here. We need to make few capitals out of what we have in the gallery. And you see, this bad governance is what is making us thinking that we are ahead. So will remain to be the point of story whereby Tanzania now is becoming the Rwanda. As we speak, this Uganda will come. I'm not saying that it's coming, because the other day, you remember when President Museveni was here with President Ruto discussing the oil deal. You know why? Museveni wants the oil to go to Uganda. But do you know when the oil goes to Uganda, all the movement from Tanzania, from Rwanda, from this other country will not be coming here to buy oil. Rather, they will buy it from Uganda. Do you know it's a market value, the international market we're going to lose on that deal?
So is okay. There's a point I remember I had on the news that apparently Uganda now is transporting their oil, because Uganda is a landlocked country, if I'm not wrong. So they're transporting their oil through now Tanzania because of some trade issues they still had with our country. So could that be the reason why? Why our country was resisting, to be bullied by Uganda? Allow me to use that word.
It can be the reason, but you see, on the same note, our country is also on the lowest. Let me see.
Okay.
Whether we accept or not, these people will get an alternative. And when they wake up, despite being in a dictatorial system, I'm sure when these guys, you give them a chance from the competition they have seen in Kenya, they will be so much ahead than Kenya, because the way Kenya is being driven, we cannot say we were the country that we used to be. We are not the country we used to be.
So let me cut you short. So in short, you're saying neocolonialism, and by neocolonialism I mean these superpower countries using their economic, political influence on their subjects, which is now their colonies. Now, for instance, as Kenya, them using their power over us to basically interfere in everything matters to do with our political scenes and our economic decisions and all that. So basically, we are not independent. They have a say more than us as a country have a say in our matters.
You see, these foreign countries, when they see there's something in your country to exploit, they will come with all mechanism to approach you. Maybe they will lie you with something for them to get the mineral. And if the country becomes rigid, they use other means to bring political instability. They will ensure they reach that means they want. You see? Now, you come to find it in this aspect. Recently, in this government of Ruto, there was a rule which was passed under the NGOs and export processing zones and whatever on tax increment. And if you can remember very well, these private companies, even in Mombasa, the export processing zone were closed down. And these people saw it like they were being overtaxed. They were not benefiting from what they were doing. And them closing down, it ended up for the local to lose their local jobs for these industries. For instance, this export processing zone, the textile company, the Jokali, the one which was making sufurias and whatever, when they closed down, some local lose their job. And these people are packing and going because of being overtaxed. Can I tell you what happened? Some of these people migrated to Uganda and they established the same business there, whereby the tax system favors them and they're there surviving and doing even better than what they're doing here in Kenya. Some of them moved to Tanzania and they established the same industry and it's doing better than it were to do here on high taxes here in the country. You get my point? Now, the closure of industrialization and the closure of the international trade crippled the country trade sector. And you come to find out now, people lost their jobs. There was nothing to be exported. And the government saying, now we are good, we can do without you. Thinking we are fighting them. But we also lost the job. We also lost our international trade from these same investors who are in the country. Now we are here as a country, you see, as a state, who thought those foreigners who were coming in to bring ingredients in this country, but in real sense, our overtaxing thought when we overtax these people, the government will benefit. But now, when we initiate the tax policy, remember we need also to consider these people and the benefit they bring in the country. Apart from them paying taxes, what else? They employ people. They reduce the unemployment rate. We forgot to look on the all-round perspective. And you find all these things made Gen Z to be jobless and went to the street. And they are lost. Yeah.
That's interesting. So, I think so far when it comes to local trending news, I think that's it. So let's get to now the main elephant in the room and what's happening on the international streets. On Tuesday, the United States of America are heading for their elections. They're going to elect their 45th?
45th.
Or 46th?
46th, I mean.
Biden was 45th?
No, Obama was 44th. So Biden was
45th. So they're going to elect their 46th president. And I mean, the whole world, because America is a hegemon, so the power they possess, the whole world is looking towards them. Like, are they going, who's going to take it? And including feminists, we're also looking at it and be like, we're also looking at it and wondering, is Kamala going to, represent us? Is she going to win? And I mean, I hope she wins. And besides her being female, the Democrats' policies are what I think some of us resonate with. But I wanted to get your take on, basically, generally, what do you think about the coming elections and who do you think will win?
Actually, America is the mother of democracy, and we know it's the hegemon, the way we specify it. And from the look of things, from where I sit, I'm a Democrat.
Okay.
And being a Democrat, I supported the idealists.
Okay.
The reason why I'm supporting the idealists, I see Kamala springing the and you see the reason why I'm saying I'm in support of Kamala, you can see the ideology of Kamala Harris as a person. He has the experience, he has the qualification, he has the language of approach. Even the manifesto itself blows out, it convinces the people. And you can see America is not like African third world where we promise this and that and that. You see, they talk about climate, they talk about healthcare, they talk about big things. You see, and you can see the Democrats, they give it the idealism manifesto. Trump is working on a realist perspective.
But don't you think a country like as powerful as America needs a realist at the top,
I can
so that he can handle fellow realists like Putin, and I would want to think the Prime Minister of Israel is also a realist. So don't you think America deserves, needs a president who's a realist so that he can be able to handle such adversaries
I can say
or allies?
I cannot dispute that. But also the reason why I'm in support of Kamala, America works in a different system compared to African countries. It's not the individual who is running the government. In US, it's the system in place. So whether Kamala is not a realist or maybe feminism in place, that cannot be the issue of him not clinching the presidency. That's a very hegemonial country, and when it comes to the leadership and the decisions of the state, it's being decided by the system, not an individual. You get the point. So the reason why I'm in support of him and not Trump, Trump being a realist himself can drag the country in a wrong direction. That's why we say he's not being supported by the majority. But I don't know. Maybe he might be the best person for the hegemon system. But also Kamala is best suited for the system. So Obama was an idealist, but
he handled
over McCain. And the cliques. You see, McCain was a realist, but he was clicked because the idealist was the song of the day. Do you remember the order where Trump once gave about people owning the arms? Do you remember the Floyd cases?
His racist. Actually, apologies. He's allegedly been accused of being a racist.
You get this thing. Now people don't forget, especially in a hegemonic state like US. People don't forget, even the internet. And you see, even Trump himself has some cases like the defilement and whatever those
the sexual charges.
Do you think when he comes for the last time he's going to behave?
Well, let's wait until Tuesday. You're pro Kamala. You're Team Kamala.
Yeah, I'm Team Kamala, and we are believing on Tuesday we are going to deliver.
True. As a feminist and as a pro-democrat, I'm also pro Kamala. And so thank you for gracing our screens today, Mr. Lugalia. And guys, I mean that has been it today. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you in our next upload.